Have you ever seen an animal with a nose that looks like a living star? A small, dark creature that spends most of its life in wet soil, underground tunnels, and swampy places, carrying on its face one of the strangest sensory organs in the animal kingdom? This animal is called the star-nosed mole, and at first glance, it almost does not look real. Its face is covered by 22 pink, fleshy rays that spread out around its nose like a tiny alien flower. To many people, it looks bizarre, even a little unsettling. But what if I told you that this strange star is not a mistake of nature? What if this odd-looking nose is actually one of the most powerful touch systems ever found in a mammal? The star-nosed mole may be small, nearly blind, and hidden from the world most of the time, but it has a superpower that most animals can only dream of. It can see its world through touch. In the dark underground environment where it lives, normal vision is almost useless. There is no sunlight in a muddy tunnel. There are no wide open spaces to scan with sharp eyes. Instead, the world of the star-nosed mole is a world of moisture, soil, roots, tiny insects, worms, and vibrations. To survive there, it does not need beautiful eyes. It needs a way to read the darkness. And that is where the star-shaped nose becomes incredible. The 22 rays on its face are constantly moving, tapping, scanning, and exploring everything around it. They are covered with thousands of microscopic sensory structures called Eimer's organs, which make the nose extremely sensitive to touch. Imagine having a hand on your face, but a hand far faster and more sensitive than your fingers. That is what the star is like for this mole. It is not just a nose. It is a scanning device. It is a map maker. It is a hunting tool. It is the reason this tiny animal can move through darkness as if it has its own living radar. While many animals rely on sight, the star-nosed mole relies on touch at lightning speed. As it pushes through wet soil or searches along the edges of water, its star taps different spots again and again, building a quick picture of the world around it. Every tiny contact gives information. Is this soil? Is this a root? Is this something edible? Is this prey? In a fraction of a second, the mole's brain has to decide whether the object it touched is food or not. And this is where the star-nosed mole becomes even more unbelievable. It is known as one of the fastest-eating mammals on Earth. It can identify and eat tiny prey in less than a fifth of a second. That is so fast that if you blink, you might miss it. To a human watching in real time, the action is almost impossible to follow. The mole touches, decides, grabs, and eats with astonishing speed. But this speed is not about aggression. It is about survival. A small animal living underground has a fast metabolism and needs a lot of food. It cannot waste time. It cannot waste energy. Every worm, insect larva, or tiny invertebrate it finds matters. In a dark tunnel, hesitation could mean losing a meal. So the star-nosed mole evolved into a specialist, not a powerful predator, not a large hunter, but a lightning-fast detector of tiny meals hidden in darkness. Its nose is so important that the entire story of this animal seems to revolve around that strange pink star. But the star-nosed mole is not only an underground creature. It is also strongly connected to wet habitats. It often lives in moist lowland areas, marshes, wetlands, and places near water. Unlike many moles that are mostly associated with dry soil tunnels, this mole is surprisingly comfortable around water. It can swim. It can forage in wet environments. It can search for food not only underground, but also in muddy and aquatic places. That makes it even more unusual. It is not just a digger. It is a semi-aquatic hunter with one of the strangest faces in nature. And because it spends so much time in hidden places, many people never see it. Most of us only encounter it through photos or short video clips, where the first thing we notice is that bizarre nose. But when we only focus on how strange it looks, we miss the real story. The star-nosed mole is not weird for no reason. Every part of its body fits the world it lives in. Its dark, dense fur helps it move through wet soil. Its strong front claws are built for digging. Its small eyes are not a problem because it does not depend on vision. Its compact body is perfect for narrow tunnels. And its star-shaped nose is a masterpiece of touch. What looks strange to us is actually perfectly logical underground. This is something many unusual animals teach us again and again. Nature does not care whether a creature looks normal to humans. Nature only cares whether that creature can survive. To us, The star-nosed mole may look like an animal with a flower growing out of its face. But in the mole's world, that flower is a tool more important than beauty. It allows the animal to find food in darkness, navigate tight spaces, and respond to its surroundings faster than many creatures can react with their eyes. In a way, the star-nosed mole challenges our idea of what seeing really means. We often think seeing means using eyes. But for this mole, the world is not mainly visual. Its world is felt. The texture of mud, the movement of prey, the shape of a tunnel, the surface of a tiny insect. These are the signals that matter. The star is like a living sensor array, touching the environment many times per second. It creates a kind of touch-based picture. The mole may not see the world the way we do, but it understands its world with amazing precision. That is why some people describe its nose as something that sees. It is not seeing with light. It is seeing through contact. And this idea makes the star-nosed mole one of the most fascinating mammals on Earth. It reminds us that intelligence and adaptation do not always look the way we expect. A creature does not need a big brain like a dolphin or a flexible arm like an octopus to be extraordinary. Sometimes, extraordinary means having a face full of sensory rays that can detect prey faster than the human eye can follow. Sometimes, a superpower is not flight, strength, or venom. Sometimes, it is touch. But there is another side to this animal story. Because of its unusual appearance, many people immediately judge it as ugly or creepy. They see the nose and stop there. They do not realize that they are looking at a highly specialized survival system. This is similar to many creatures we have explored before. The blowfish was judged outside the pressure of its deep-sea home. The goblin shark was judged by its frightening face. The vampire squid was judged by its scary name. And now, the star-nosed mole is often judged by a nose that looks strange to us, even though that nose is the key to its survival. This is the message that makes the star-nosed mole more than just a weird animal. It teaches us that strangeness is often just adaptation we do not understand yet. If you lived in darkness, if your meals were tiny and hidden in mud, if your world was made of tunnels and wet soil, you would not need a pretty face. You would need a way to read the ground instantly. You would need speed. You would need sensitivity. You would need the star. And that is exactly what this mole has. Its nose is not decoration. It is not a random mutation that became famous online. It is a powerful biological tool refined by evolution. The more we learn about it, the less it looks like a monster, and the more it looks like a tiny engineer of survival. Imagine this animal moving through a dark, wet tunnel. There is no dramatic music, no sunlight, no open landscape, just soil pressing in from every side. Its claws push forward. Its body squeezes through the earth. Its eyes provide little help, but its star is alive with motion, touching everything, searching for the smallest sign of food. Suddenly, one ray touches something soft. Another ray confirms it. The brain makes a decision almost instantly. Food. In a moment too fast for us to follow, the mole grabs and eats. Then the star keeps moving, scanning again, reading the darkness, turning the unknown into information. That is the life of the star-nosed mole. Hidden, fast, strange, and brilliant. It is not trying to impress us. It is not trying to look beautiful. It is simply doing what it was built to do. And that might be the most amazing thing about it. In the right environment, even the strangest body makes perfect sense. The star-nosed mole shows us that nature can solve problems in ways that look almost alien. Need to hunt in darkness? Build a touch organ more sensitive than almost anything else. Need to find tiny prey quickly? Make the nose move faster than the eye can track. Need to live in wet soil and around water? Create a compact, powerful little mammal that can dig, swim, and scan with incredible precision. This animal is not a mistake. It is a solution. A solution with 22 rays. A solution wrapped in dark fur and hidden beneath the ground. A solution that most people will never see in real life, but one that deserves far more respect than it gets. So the next time you see a picture of the star-nosed mole, do not just ask, why does it look so weird? Ask a better question, what problem did nature solve with that face? Because once you ask that, the answer becomes much more interesting. The star is not there to scare us. It is there to help a nearly blind animal touch its way through darkness, find food with incredible speed, and survive in a world where our own senses would be almost useless. If the axolotl showed us the power of regeneration, the barrel-eye fish showed us the mystery of deep-sea vision. The vampire squid showed us that scary names can hide gentle lives. The goblin shark showed us that frightening faces can be perfect survival designs. The tardigrade showed us the strength of endurance. And the blobfish taught us not to judge a creature outside its world. Then the star-nosed mole gives us another lesson. Sometimes the strangest feature is the greatest advantage. This tiny animal, hidden in wet soil and darkness, carries one of the most extraordinary sensory systems in the mammal world right on its face. It may look unusual. It may even look impossible. But in its own world, it is perfectly made. And if a small mole with a star-shaped nose can reveal this much about the creativity of life, then imagine how many other strange creatures are still waiting for us to understand them. So stay with us as we continue exploring the weirdest, strangest, and most fascinating animals on our planet. Because in nature, the more unusual a creature looks, the more incredible its story often becomes.